It was pulled off the air so fast that most fans never even got the chance to see it. Until now. For decades, this Married with Children episode sat locked away, whispered about, rumored, and blamed for one of the biggest TV controversies of the 90s. Networks refused to touch it, audiences begged to watch it, and the cast rarely spoke its name. But after years in the vault, the ban has finally been lifted, and the truth behind this forbidden episode is more unbelievable than anyone expected. Did you know that in the late 1980s, American television was dominated by a particular kind of family comedy? Sanitized, predictable, and sweetly reassuring. Shows like Full House, The Cosby Show, and Family Ties presented families who were loving, well-adjusted, and always able to solve their minor struggles neatly within 22 minutes. The formula was familiar: gentle humor, moral lessons, and heartwarming resolutions that left viewers feeling comfortable and content. Yet, by the mid-1980s, audiences were beginning to grow weary of this glossy perfection. They craved something different, something that felt more like real life, with its frustrations, failures, and unpolished humor. Enter Married with Children. Premiering in 1987 on the then-fledgling Fox network, the show didn't just break the sitcom mold, it obliterated it. From its very first episode, it made one thing abundantly clear. This was a sitcom about dysfunction, disappointment, and unapologetic irreverence. Al Bundy, the patriarch, was no warm, sensitive dad. He was a bitter, downtrodden shoe salesman who despised his job, loathed his marriage, and wistfully fantasized about the life he never had. Peg, his wife, wasn't the nurturing homemaker of conventional TV. She was a TV-obsessed, shopping-addicted housewife who cooked rarely, cleaned even less, and relished defying domestic expectations. Their children, Kelly and Bud, weren't cute troublemakers to be adored. They were selfish, scheming, and gloriously lazy, embodying the chaos and frustration so often swept under the rug in traditional sitcoms. The humor was raw and unapologetic. There were no sentimental piano moments, no neat moral conclusions, no coddling of the audience's sensibilities. Instead, Married with Children served up fat jokes, dirty jokes, and biting commentary on poverty, consumerism, and suburban ennui. The Bundys' lives were ugly, ridiculous, and painfully relatable. Al's tirades against customers, Peg's lazy rebellion, Bud's sleazy schemes, and Kelly's blissful ignorance created a tapestry of humor that mocked everyone: men, women, neighbors, and even themselves. This brazen defiance made the show an instant cultural phenomenon. Audiences were both scandalized and captivated, drawn to its honesty and audacity. Critics labeled it crude, religious groups protested, and politicians decried it as a symptom of societal decay. Network censors scrutinized scripts week after week, but the show's creators continued to push boundaries, daring viewers to laugh at truths polite society preferred to ignore. In doing so, Married with Children didn't just entertain. It transformed American television, proving that a sitcom could be funny, subversive, and shocking all at once. Among the many controversies surrounding Married with Children, none was as notorious as the episode titled "I'll See You in Court." Fully produced during the show's third season and scheduled to air in 1989, the episode would go on to achieve almost mythical status among fans, and for reasons no one on set anticipated. On paper, the plot appeared innocuous enough. Al and Peg Bundy, seeking to revive some spark in their marriage, check into a rundown motel. But the motel harbors a dark secret. It secretly records its guests. When the Bundys discover their private moments have been watched without consent, they pursue legal action, only to realize their neighbors, the Rhodes, are victims of the same invasion. What followed was a courtroom spectacle unlike anything seen on network television at the time. The script was filled with double entendres, risque humor, and public humiliation that pushed boundaries even for a show already famous for its audacity. Scenes featured awkward cross-examinations, innuendo-laden arguments, and gags that left actors themselves occasionally wincing. While Married with Children had never shied away from crude jokes or sexual humor, the very idea of depicting a couple being secretly videotaped during intimate moments struck a nerve. In 1989, America was a very different media landscape. There was no social media, no viral clips, and television networks were extremely cautious about advertiser reactions. Fox, still a fledgling network hungry for credibility and commercial support, faced mounting pressure. Sponsors reportedly expressed deep discomfort with the episode's subject matter, concerned about associating their brands with jokes about privacy invasion and sexual exploitation. The network executives, fearing backlash and potential advertiser pullouts, quietly shelved the episode. There was no press release, no public statement, and no explanation to viewers or even the cast. For years, I'll See You in Court became something of an urban legend among fans. People speculated whether it had been completed at all, circulated rumors about lost tapes, and debated what exactly made it so controversial. Cast members recalled the episode as a high point of absurdity and boldness, yet one that would never see the light of day. Its disappearance only amplified the mystique of Married with Children as a show that not only broke rules, but sometimes collided violently with the limits of what network television would allow. By 1989, Married with Children had really established itself as one of television's most controversial programs. But the true storm of moral outrage had only just begun. The catalyst was Terry Rakolta, a Michigan housewife who took it upon herself to defend what she considered the sanctity of family values. Outraged by the show's unapologetic crudeness, Rakolta launched a public boycott that rapidly gained traction, capturing headlines and sparking heated debates across the country. Her campaign was not merely symbolic, corporate America responded. Household names like Kellogg's and Coca-Cola pulled their advertising, demonstrating the tangible financial power of one person's moral crusade and turning a single viewer's anger into a national conversation about decency, censorship, and the role of television in society. This cultural pressure placed Married with Children in a precarious position. The series had thrived on pushing boundaries, serving up irreverent jokes about sex, laziness, and suburban misery. Yet there were limits, even for a show that delighted in defying convention. Within this climate of scrutiny and protest, the third season episode, I'll See You in Court, became a lightning rod before it even aired. The plot, which centered on Al and Peg Bundy discovering they were secretly videotaped during intimate moments at a seedy motel, was risque on its own. But in a moment when advertisers were already skittish and public outcry was mounting, the stakes were far higher. The storyline's focus on non-consensual filming was not only provocative, it raised potential legal and ethical concerns, making it unthinkable to broadcast. Fox executives, still a fledgling network striving for legitimacy and desperately dependent on advertisers, made the decisive choice to shelve the episode quietly. There was no public announcement, no explanation to the audience, and no attempt to negotiate with concerned sponsors. The decision underscored the delicate balance the network faced, maintaining the show's edge and loyal fan base while avoiding a corporate or cultural backlash that could threaten the entire fledgling network. The incident illustrates more than just censorship. It highlights the collision between art, commerce, and cultural values in late 1980s. America Married with Children was no longer just a sitcom. It had become a battleground in the culture wars, where the boundaries of humor, decency, and societal norms were constantly being tested. The decision to bury I'll See You in Court became emblematic of the tension between creative audacity and public morality, a cautionary tale of how television can ignite controversy in ways far beyond the screen. Reportedly, inside the studio, the production of I'll See You in Court had felt like any other episode. The cast and crew went through their usual routines, filming, editing, and polishing each scene, confident it would air just like any third-season installment. On set, There was laughter, creative banter, and the familiar energy that had defined Married with Children from its earliest days. No one anticipated that this particular episode would become infamous or that it would quietly vanish from television history. Years later, cast members reflected on the episode with a mix of bemusement and disbelief. Ed O'Neill, who embodied the perpetually frustrated Al Bundy, admitted he didn't understand the uproar. From his perspective, the show had consistently delivered risque jokes, crude humor, and outrageous situations. This episode was simply another extension of that tone. It pushed boundaries. Yes, but hardly in a way that surprised anyone who had followed the Bundys' misadventures. Katie Sagal, who played Peg Bundy, was equally candid. She called the episode hilarious, perfectly in line with the show's spirit of awkward, absurd, and humiliating comedy. To the performers, it wasn't scandalous. It was classic Married with Children. The writers, too, were shocked when they learned of the network's decision to shelve the episode. For them, it represented creative work that had been completed, packaged, and ready for the audience. Michael G. Moy, the show's co-creator, later explained that external pressures, most notably Terry Rakolta's highly publicized boycott and the nervous reaction of advertisers, had compelled Fox to quietly bury the episode. The network feared backlash so severe that airing it could jeopardize sponsorship and undermine the show's fragile position on a fledgling channel. Over time, I'll See You in Court assumed a strange, almost legendary status. It was deliberately excluded from reruns, omitted from VHS releases, and vanished from syndication, leaving a gap in the series that fans noticed but could never access. In the minds of the cast and crew, the episode's disappearance was frustrating, yet also emblematic of the era, a collision between bold creative vision and the societal, commercial, and moral pressures that shaped television. Though erased from broadcast, the episode was not forgotten. Among fans and insiders alike, it became a symbol of censorship, of the culture wars gripping late 1980s television, and a reminder that even the most irreverent shows could collide with the boundaries of public taste. However, that all changed in 2002 when FX, the cable network known for airing classic and edgy reruns, decided to broadcast the episode uncut and uncensored. For the first time in U.S. television history, I'll See You in Court was available to the public exactly as the creators had intended. Fans who had spent years debating its existence were finally vindicated. The myth was true, the episode real, and its humor intact. The response was immediate and electric. Online forums and fan communities exploded with discussion, speculation, and clips. Viewers shared their astonishment that an episode once deemed too provocative could now air without restriction, reflecting both the shifting standards of cable television and the enduring boldness of the show itself. Reactions to the long-lost episode were predictably mixed. Many found it hilarious, applauding the sharp writing, absurd courtroom antics, and classic Bundy-style humiliation, edgy jokes that once prompted advertisers to panic now elicited laughter and admiration for their daring. Yet for others, the subject matter, non-consensual videotaping and public embarrassment, remained deeply uncomfortable. Even years later, the episode forced audiences to confront the uneasy line between comedy and discomfort, illustrating how humor could provoke, challenge, and unsettle simultaneously. Beyond the laughs and the shock, the airing of I'll See You in Court cemented the episode's place in television history. It wasn't just a lost episode, it was a testament to Married with Children's fearless approach to taboo topics and its willingness to satirize society's hypocrisies, even at the risk of outrage. After years of secrecy, the Bundys' misadventures reminded audiences that comedy could be both boundary-pushing and culturally significant, long after the original controversy had passed. Decades after I'll See You in Court was buried by network executives, the episode is finally set to resurface in 2025. Sony Pictures has announced it will release a fully remastered version as part of Too Hot for Prime Time, a digital collection dedicated to television episodes once deemed too controversial for broadcast. The move is more than a nostalgic nod to fans. It reflects a dramatic shift in both media and cultural attitudes over the past 3.5 decades. What was once unthinkable for television in 1989 now resonates in ways its creators could never have predicted. Streaming platforms such as Netflix, Prime Video, and Hulu have normalized morally complex, explicit storytelling. Viewers have grown accustomed to confronting uncomfortable truths on screen. Shows tackle subjects like privacy breaches, sexual misconduct, and the ethical dilemmas of modern technology with candor and nuance. In that context, the Bundys' ordeal, being secretly videotaped in a motel, no longer feels like mere shock humor. It feels almost prescient, anticipating the invasive realities of surveillance and digital exposure that define modern life. The cultural landscape has shifted so radically that the same jokes and situations that once triggered advertisers and moral crusaders now feel both humorous and historically significant. Audiences in 2025 are more willing to engage with content that challenges societal norms and provokes debate, recognizing that comedy can illuminate serious issues without necessarily providing easy answers. The episode's themes, consent, voyeurism, and the absurdity of public humiliation, echo contemporary conversations about privacy in a world dominated by social media, security cameras, and ubiquitous digital monitoring. By releasing I'll See You in Court Today, Sony is not only satisfying long-standing fan curiosity, but also recontextualizing the episode as a cultural artifact. It serves as a bridge between eras, a reminder of a time when television was tightly policed by advertisers and societal pressures, and a testament to how far storytelling freedom has evolved. What was once too much for network television now feels prophetic, offering viewers a chance to revisit the Bundys' chaotic lives and see just how daring and, in some ways, visionary Married with Children truly was. What do you think about this episode? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.